What was that? Did you just misgender a bitch on Twitter? It is male! Don't question me again. I am the UK. The UK is superior to you. How dare you speak to me? How dare you say something mean? You should be castrated. You should make a camp to send all you people who misgender people. Call it a concentration camp or something. Wow, that sounds really familiar, don't you think? Jailing people because, well, they said something mean. Ooh. You guys ever seen that movie, V for Vendetta? You know, that movie that takes place somewhere in the UK, right? And it's basically has a dictatorship, right? If you say one bad thing, they throw you in jail and kill you. Or how about, like, going outside at, like 8 p.m., walking out to get your newspaper. For some reason, you didn't get the newspaper in the morning. Next thing you know, the police show up, and they're all like, hey, you're outside, you can't be outside. Then they arrest you or rape you. That's V for Vendetta for you. Well, we're one step closer to V for Vendetta in the UK. Well, this is America, so you gotta love the fact that we have the First Amendment. What does the UK have? They can't have any of that. In America, you can't call people an asshole, but they'll just make you a jerk. But if you call someone an asshole in the UK, you get arrested for it. Boo-hoo, someone said something mean. Oh, get arrested for it? You gotta be freaking kidding me, you stupid psychopath. What's next? You gonna get arrested for saying you love football more than you love soccer? Next thing you're gonna lock them up, send them to do the death penalty and stuff like that because you're freaking stupid. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Well, in the UK, a mother, 38 years old, is arrested in front of her children and locked in a cell for 7 hours after calling a transgender woman a man on Twitter. She got arrested in front of her children for simply saying a transgender person is a man on Twitter. Guess what that result is? Getting locked up. What'd you do? I killed a man. Called a transgender woman a man on Twitter. I'm serving for 30 years. What about you? For life. Do you see how dumb this is? It's just really... UK is just the worst place. It's just a terrible place to be. Because you can't say anything. Because if you do, you get arrested for it. Well, it's better than being somewhere in the Middle East where you breathe in one direction and then you get killed. Well, in this country, UK, if you breathe in another direction, they'll call you a racist. They'll freaking arrest you for something that doesn't make any sense. Stating facts. Fact number 1, 2 genders. So next you know, hey, you know what? That thing over there that's constantly saying ma'am in my face while spitting testosterone at my face and somehow made my face even more muscular is somehow a woman. Next thing you know, I get arrested for saying, sir. Hello everybody, welcome back to the crappy show on the internet. I'm your host, and furious man that gets less views every day. Time to read this little article on the Daily Mail about how retarded the country UK is. So let's see, shall we? A mother was arrested in front of her children and locked up for 7 hours after referring to a transgender woman as a man online. 3 officers detained Kate Scowo at her home before quizzing her at the police station about an argument with an activist on Twitter over so-called dead naming. A 38-year-old from Hitchman, I can't pronounce that, had her photograph, DNA, fingerprints taken, and remains under investigation more than 2 months after her arrest on December 1st. She has had more than 2 months after her arrest on December 1st. She had neither her phone or laptop returned, which she says is hampering her studies for a master's in forensic psychology. There's too many ads on the freaking article. It's freezing on my computer. I just want to read it. It's like, don't you hate when you try to like go on a website and stuff and then these dumb ads pop up and it's like it slows down the computer. There we go, thank you. Who has also been served with a court order that bans her from referring to her accuser as a man, claimed, I was arrested in my home by 3 officers with my autistic 10-year-old daughter and breastfed 20-month-old son present. I was detained for 7 hours in a cell with no sanitary products, which I said I needed before being interviewed, then later released under investigation. I was arrested for harassment and malicious communications because I called someone out and misgendered them on Twitter. This is retarded. This is just retarded. Malicious communication. In the UK, you can be arrested for talking someone and for some reason they get offended by what you say. Now, let's just say this. Alright, so this guy on YouTube, I forgot his name. His last name is Dyke, alright? And for some reason, YouTube thought his last name Dyke was a slur. So they pretty much striked him or something. So we had to change his last name on the YouTube channel. Now just imagine he decided to move to the UK, right? Just imagine every single time when someone asks for his last name, right? He says, oh, what's your last name? Oh, it's Dyke. Someone in the back of the room decides, what's that? I heard someone say Dyke. That is so offensive. She calls the police. The SWAT team comes in, arrests the man. Why? Because malicious communication. He said his last name was Dyke. He can be arrested for something that someone else is somehow offended by, which makes no sense. In the UK, you can't defend yourself. Self-defense doesn't exist in the UK. You can't have pools in your backyard. Why? Because robbers will drown in them, get arrested for saying something that may or may not be offensive for some reason, and there's a knife law that makes everybody have to dull their knives because, oh, knives are too sharp to cut anything. Meanwhile, the criminals don't care. They will literally stab you with a dull knife. They don't care. And I think that's worse. In the UK, violent gangs are soaring. The pedo gangs are literally everywhere in the UK. Police say they won't respond to burglaries, and only 9% of crimes end with the suspect being charged. Oh, but what's that? Someone said something mean on Twitter? Better just swat their entire house. Look, it says confirming the arrest of Hertfordshire police said, we take all reports of malicious communication seriously. They take that seriously than someone being killed. Do you know? They take that seriously than a child being raped. Do you know about that? Like this is the UK. This is literally the UK with the police and stuff. Help, I'm being killed. I'm being killed by a criminal. Help, I'm being killed. And this is the police. I don't care. Next thing you know, someone on Twitter is all like, hey, this dude. Next thing you know, the police is all like, what? Then they fucking execute him on the spot. But first they have to call someone with a gun because apparently the police don't have guns. That makes perfect sense. A sitcom writer, Graham Lehan, was given a verbal harassment warning by Worcestershire police after transgender activists, whatever her name is, reported him for referring to her by her previous names and pronouns on Twitter. That's right. Jokes can get you arrested. Saying facts can get you arrested. This is retarded. Showing realism can get you demonetized on YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. That's why, if you're in the UK, anybody with a sense, like a brain cell in the UK, do us all a favor, alright? Get out of there and live somewhere else where the First Amendment exists, aka America. Why? Because guess what? We could say whatever the hell we want that makes sense. We just get called an asshole for it. But there you get arrested for it. Give them an inch, and they will come at you with a full bat with a screw on it. Thank you for watching this crappy video. Hope you guys like it, because y'all know I didn't see.